Hello, my name is Sienna Price. I have septo-optic dysplasia, which caused me to be born completely blind, and it also caused me to be on the autism spectrum, and I also have complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing the accommodations that I take with me on vacation, and not just on vacation, but out in public, like out in the store, out in a restaurant sometimes, maybe out in the doctor's office. It just depends, because sometimes I do need my accommodations, and there are times where I don't need my accommodations. So each place is different. So next week, my husband and I will be going to a blind summer camp for 1 week, and we usually go pretty much once every year, because that's when it happens. And when we go, I want to be prepared. I want to be realistic. So yes, I'm going to have fun. There is going to be lots of fun, but I'm expecting there to be some struggles, and I have found ways to deal with those struggles. So it's not gonna be, I don't expect it to be all fun and all perfect and no struggles, and I don't expect it to be nothing but struggles, no fun, I don't expect that. I expect a little bit of both. I expect fun, and I expect struggles, not with just emotions, maybe just some other things. So I want to be prepared. So I have a fanny pack that I carry with me pretty much everywhere when I go out in public. I carry it with me in the store. I carry it with me in the restaurants. Now, sometimes I don't carry it with me, but it just really depends. And then I have a backpack that I carry with me. That's the one that really depends, because sometimes I don't bring it with me in the store. Other times I do. It really just depends. So we're going to start with the fanny pack first, because it's easily portable. And I'm hoping that these accommodations will help other people to maybe think about other things that they can carry with them when it comes to traveling in public. So first, I have 2 different rocks. So I have this one. This one, I've had this ever since I was a child. There's actually a storyline behind this rock. And then I have an amethyst crystal. I like the feeling of it, but I'm also deep into the healing of crystals. Is it proven? No. This is just what helps me. And if you want to laugh at my belief of crystals, that is completely okay. Sometimes I just like to feel it. Sometimes I just like to fidget with it. And then in the bigger pocket, I have different brushes. I won't go into detail about these because I've made a video about all my sensory brushes. So I have that one and this one. So I have different fidgets to help with sensory and calming down and stuff like that. Ignore the lawnmower. So I have different fidgets in there. And then in the other side, I might actually subtract some of these things, because some of them I do use, but others I don't really use, so I probably just might subtract them. So I have a duck, a little rubber duck, and it says, stop the stigma. I do agree with that. I have a little fidget roller. A lot of people have seen these. And then I have a fidget pad. I don't really need to go into detail about the fidget pad because everyone knows about the fidget pad. Everyone pretty much knows the functions. It's almost like the fidget cube. And of course I have a fidget cube. I have this, my mom made this for me. It's a resin heart with little bumblebees inside of it, and I absolutely love bumblebees. And then I have this bumblebee rock. And it says "Be kind" on it. And it's got a bumblebee. And then I have small little trinkets, things made out of metal, because I actually like metal. I like the feel of metal. So I have different things like that. And then I have a little smiley face, because smiley faces are about positivity. And hey, you gotta be positive you just gotta be positive in life. But also acknowledge things in your life that are going on. I'm gonna take these out, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep those in there or not. And then we have my backpack, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of comments with this. So I'm gonna start with this pocket. This pocket is like for essentials. So we have peppermint oil, and this is for headaches. I'm going to take this to camp for headaches, just because you never know what could happen. And I like to go the natural way before I start going into Tylenol and stuff like that. I'm not saying Tylenol is bad. I like to try natural ways first. And then I have my sunscreen. This is roll-on, which really helps me with measurements a lot. Handy wipes, moist towelettes, a charger. And then these are lozenges for stomach and nausea. Again, I like to try the natural way before the Tylenol and Tums and stuff like that. And just, you never know when. You just never know when it'll happen. And then I have Band-Aids, just in case, you know. So I have stuff like that. Thanks. And then in this pocket I have sour candies to help with anxiety, hard candies, mints, a couple brushes, and then some positive affirmation cards that I brailled these myself. So I have one that says breathe, and these are all brailled so that way I can read them. This says, "One win a day keeps low self-esteem away." And that's a quote from Trent Shelton. If anyone doesn't know who Trent Shelton is, look him up, because he's amazing. He's all about mental well-being and stuff like that. And then this one is, "If being hard on yourself worked, it would have worked now, or it would have worked by now." I believe that's another quote from Trent Shelton, I believe. And then I have one that says, "Fear is creating a known result from a situation you haven't experienced yet." That is definitely something from Trent Shelton. And then I have one that says, "Accept everything about yourself. You are you. No apologies, no regrets." I need to tell myself that more often. And then I have my noise canceling headphones, and these actually play music, so I could use these. I'm gonna bring these to camp just in case I'm in a situation that causes me sensory overload. Then I can put on some music to help keep me calm. I don't really use these out in the store, just because, I don't like to be at the store, but I don't think I need my noise canceling headphones for that. Sometimes I use them in loud, crowded situations, Like if we're at a get together and there's just a lot of screaming kids and something like that, then I'll use them for that. So then in the big pocket, I have a Tupperware container of brushes. I've already done a video talking about my sensory brushes, so a lot of people would probably know. And then I have some musical instruments, cause you know me and how I feel about the benefits of music and music keeping me regulated and keeping you calm and stuff like that. So I have my mini tongue drum from Meinl Sonic Energy. I actually did a video about this. I have my mini kalimba. I have my kabasa. And then I have an egg shaker. So I have 2 instruments for melody and 2 instruments for rhythm. And then I have my mini handheld fan because due to septo-optic dysplasia, I was born with a thing where I get hot and cold very easily. So in really hot weather, I'm probably going to need something like this to keep me cool. And then I have my bag for my cane because it can fold up, and then I could just put my cane in this bag. And then I have my hat for when it gets really hot, and that'll help me get protected from the sun. And then in this pocket, this is where I keep a lot of my smaller fidgets. I love fidgets. So I have these gloves. They're anemone mittens. I like to use these because goosebumps, when I give myself goosebumps, so like if I were to, I like it, rubbing my skin is one of my stims. It helps me to stay calm and relaxed. So something like this. Yeah, I like to rub these on my skin and kind of give myself goosebumps, and it helps me to stay calm. I actually thought I was the only person who loved to do that. No, I actually know of another YouTuber. She's blind and autistic, and she likes to give herself goosebumps with things like this. So I actually thought I was the only one. And then more sensory brushes. I actually got these for Christmas. More sensory brushes. My egg shaker. My koosh ball, again, for giving myself goosebumps and for holding and playing and fidgeting with. My infinity cube, I prefer the metal one over the plastic one just because it's more weighted. And then a tear-resistant stress ball. I prefer those over the foam stress balls because, oh, you could squeeze all the stress out into this thing. Oh my gosh. And then I have, so this is specifically for camp. This is for specifically when I go out of town. I have a couple rubber duckies, so I will be taking my squeaky ball. However, this is where I need to be considerate of others because, warning for people watching this video, there is going to be some loud, high-pitched noise, and if you do not like high-pitched noise, you may feel free to shut this video off or skip past. So I like this ball because of the texture and because of the feeling of the air and the noise. Not everyone likes that. And what if I'm out at activities and this ball ends up falling and it rolls? What if it rolls? It's not anyone's job to chase after my ball. It's not anyone's job to do that. So I have a couple rubber duckies in place of that because the squeak is more quiet. I'm still getting that input, but what if someone else still gets annoyed by the high-pitched squeak? This is where I have a little, who remembers Slippery Soap from Blue's Clues? Who remembers that? This, okay, so it doesn't make the sound, but the air comes out, so I'm getting the sensory input from that. It still makes a very, I like to be considerate of others, so I like to use quiet fidgets, or fidgets that barely make any sound, but I'm still getting the same sensory input like I would the ball or the ducks. I think I'm just gonna leave the ball in the cabin, and yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So that's pretty much it as far as the accommodations that I'll be taking. And I feel like I'm going to have fun no matter what comes up. I know what to do to keep myself calm. I know what to do to keep myself grounded. I know what helps me. And if someone else says, hey, can you please use a quieter fidget, I will do that. I would be more than happy to do that because I do like to be considerate of others. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.